Oh my God. I can't. I can't do this now. Who's John Brown? And who's Doc and Rocker? Oh my God. There's people coming in that I don't know that want to come in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream of Horror and Coffee. I am your host, Ralph Perez, and I have coffee here. And I see I have quite a few people that are going to be joining me for this interesting discussion regarding the first Omen. Now, I have Baron Vaughn from Exorcist Reviews. He says that he's struggling getting on. He's supposed to be one of my guests. He keeps on running into an error, 404. I don't know why. I got a couple other people that clicked on the same thing, and they're still on. So, and they were able to get in. And in fact, I'm about to bring one of them now. And he is the co-host of Geeks and Flicks. I am talking about Nate. Say hi, Nate.
What's up, everybody? Nate, Geeks and Flicks.
Yeah, Geeks and Flicks. They you guys do your shows every other Sunday, right?
Correct. Yeah, we skipped last because Easter. So
right.
This coming Sunday, we will be live. Yeah, every other Sunday we're live.
Okay.
And then if you like pre-recorded, every Wednesday Alex is going through a DC retro rewind. So he's watching all the live action DC films, and then I do out of the theater reviews every Friday, new releases. So this week we'll have Civil War. I think that's what I'm going to go watch Thursday.
Okay.
And then I will review it for Friday. So yeah, if you like recorded reviews, we got those. If you like lives, every other week.
Awesome. Thank you, Nate and Alex. I wish Alex was here.
Wherever he may be. I know he didn't watch this movie.
So what? He doesn't care. Alex doesn't care.
I hate horror.
I hate horror.
Angelina likes it. I hate it.
Yeah, well, maybe Angelina should join us. I have the other guest I have slated to join us. It is he calls himself Darth Torres, but I know him as Frank. And his wife Marty, otherwise known as the Goth Rican Vegan. Hello, Frank. And where's Marty?
Right here.
Oh, there you go. What are you drinking there? What is that?
Blood.
What's she drinking?
On the rock.
Kidney stone blood.
Oh, no. So it's good to see you guys here. Okay, I'm about to get this guy coming in, Mr. Exorcist Reviews guy is about to jump in. And I have, let's see who's on the chat. That's quite a few people here. I got 15 people watching. That's a first in Horror and Coffee, okay? I got Gregory Peck. Gregory Peck is back from the dead. I know it's not the real one, but he's been I've been interacting with him on the chats, and let's see who else I got. I got Robert Makes the Cut. Aki is here. Goat Metal Show. Let's see who else. Tombstone says good evening, everyone. Hi, Ralph. My goodness, I got people here. This is great. And Nate is saying LOL. Why are you saying?
Because he said the Mets are a horror show in Queens, and he's not wrong. We suck, but I still rep. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay, and coming into the stage, Ralph Love says, love your content. I don't know Ralph. It's not this Ralph. It's another Ralph.
He loves your content, and that's all.
But he loves my content. Which is a good thing. All right, now coming onto the stage, I'm gonna bring him in. Is the guy, the host of Exorcist Reviews. This guy knows everything you need to know about the Exorcist franchise. Baron Vaughn, come on in. There you go, dude. I'm glad you was able to join us. I can't hear you. His audio. Maybe something's up with the audio. It happens. These technical difficulties always mess with
Mercury retrograde.
Huh?
The concept of Mercury retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in that sort of thing.
I get you. Baron Vaughn, you good now?
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're still kind of choppy though.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Let me try
Oh
something.
no,
new.
no, no,
Come
no.
on,
You're
you're
now
good.
you're good. Now you're good.
Psst. Okay, it's gonna be one of those, huh?
It's gonna be one of the. You know what it is?
I
It's
think we
the
had that
Omen.
problem last time I was on, wasn't it?
You didn't have any problems last time, from what I
Huh.
remember. You know, Tombstone. Hold up, Tombstone is saying this. Gregory Peck. I had a friend. His name was Gregory, and I named him Gregory Peck after the actor. He signed my high school yearbook in 2009. No comment, but Gregory Peck was here. Best memory ever. Okay, very good. You know, that's a nod to one of the great actors of the time, Gregory Peck. Guys, this has been quite a journey.
You got that right.
I found out about I found out about the first Omen about over a year ago or so when I was like wondering what are they making? They're making a prequel, okay? And then something happened. Something happened that traumatized me. Something happened called Exorcist Believer. If you remember that live stream and where that went and how that movie fell apart.
Yeah, that is traumatizing.
It was. So when I coming out of the heels of that, I saw this movie coming and I went, uh oh. You know? And that was a problem. So I don't know. It's just one of those scary things. But I did see the movie. I saw it the first time with my friend Jamel on Thursday night, right before opening day. Then I saw it again Saturday with Frank and Marty right here. And
Apology
their son.
accepted.
Huh?
Apology accepted.
I must have missed that. I don't understand. You people, man, stop messing with me. And you know, so I got a chance to see the movie twice, and so I waited to see it twice to put the non-spoiler review, which is already up. If you haven't seen it yet, you can check that out if you want. But I have to be real. You know, I had to really absorb that movie twice because I had to shake off the Exorcist Believer vibes and just look at this from a new, clean slate, right? You know, and let's see. Wow, we got a lot of people here. I'm gonna get to you guys. Give me a minute. So
Take your time.
Huh?
Take your time.
Here's well, you know, I don't got work tomorrow.
I do. I
Lucky.
got work tomorrow. Don't take too much time.
No. Well, dude, you know, by all means, if you have to, you know, whenever
No.
you have, because I don't know how long this is coming. I'm not gonna. Anyway, all right, here we go. This movie became a movie that I hate to like. I like it, and I hate the fact that I do. Because in my view, at least in my view, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, considering, in spite of some areas of Omen lore that they messed up. Listen, look, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
it's
I got the books. I've been reading these books since high school. All right, and I'm missing two of them. I can't find the Final Conflict and Omen 5: The Abomination. There's actually a novel on those, right? But all 5 books in collection fit a narrative. And by the way, just for records, so in case for those of you who don't know, this Omen 4 Armageddon 2000 is not
The Awakening.
The Awakening. Nowhere close.
I figured it wasn't.
Nothing. I don't know what they were thinking in not making a movie out of this, because this works. This was good. Not that godforsaken movie
talk
that,
about
you know, Omen, you know, Awakening, nothing. Anyway, yeah. So you know, that's the thing about this lore. I am a lover of the Omen lore. I've been trying to look for the 7 Daggers of Megiddo as a collectible for years. It is not. Why are you laughing, man?
Because I remember when we went to Comic-Con and you were talking about looking for those daggers.
You never
It was
knew.
so funny.
I never knew. I wanted it.
That was like
I
2 years ago almost, and you were like, "I need these daggers." You get the
Yeah.
daggers. Yeah, it was
I
funny.
want them. I want them up on my wall.
That
You
would
might
be
have to
cool.
go on site.
That would be cool.
Oh no, there's somebody I actually spoke to that is working on making those. So him and I have been talking. Let's see what happens.
Do you know
Robert makes
anybody that's going into pottery class to make the Whore of Babylon?
Oh my God, the statue, right? Imagine I get that in my sir, you got a big package here. It's like life size. I'm like, what is this?
Big
Where am I gonna put this?
I'll buy one.
Robert makes the cut, says, I haven't seen Awakening. Robert, look at me. Look at me. Don't.
Even the priest will throw it out the church.
Don't. Please, for the love of God, don't.
What is this shit?
Yeah. You know. Anyway, so yeah, that's the whole thing. Now, before I go into and just to let you guys know, I have notes. I made notes. I had to write down all my thoughts to get everything ready for this live stream. And then you know what I'm gonna do after with this? When I'm done with it? Guess what I'm gonna do? Take a good guess, Nate.
Burn it?
Nope. Ready? Come on, Nate. You know me.
You're gonna put it in the files.
Hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Put it in the files.
Put it in the files. Yeah, I knew it.
Put it in the files.
I love when detectives find that when you die.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "What is this? What is going
What
on?"
is
Like,
This is
what
nice.
the hell is he
What is
doing?
this?
Hey.
Put your sunglasses on top of the
Oh,
pod
look, coffee.
Coffee and a pair of sunglasses
and the files.
Yes.
and the files.
That's right.
All right. So before I get into my notes, I have pluses and minuses, and then there's gonna be some other things I wanna address. I want to know what you guys thought of what are your initial thoughts and this is and a reminder again, this is full spoiler on. If you have not seen this movie yet, The First Omen, if you haven't seen it, you shouldn't be here. But if you don't care and want to hang out anyway, by all means, you're more than welcome. But just understand, we're gonna blow the whole thing open up for you. So if you do not want to know anything, just come back and watch the replay after you saw the movie. All right, Nate. Tell me about. Now I saw your review.
Yeah,
You liked it.
Yeah, I would actually like to hear them first, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Before I go, because I did a review and I saw your review.
So I
I'm
want to
interested see
hear.
what they say.
I kind of know what, but I'm gonna let them talk too. But I kind of want to know what Baron Von says. Thanks.
Well, I've been
I'll go third.
posting
Huh?
pretty much the same thing
Tell me.
on other channels. Yeah, I've been posting. It's a great prequel to an alternate Omen franchise.
I agree. It's a great prequel to not the 1976 film. In my opinion, it feels more like a prequel to a new reset or a reboot.
And if
It's a
Disney has
reimagining.
anything to do with it, they probably would go that route.
I don't know. I hope Disney has minimal involvement in it, to be honest with you. I like to think that 20th Century Studios still has a lot of autonomy in what they put out and how they put it out. To be
They
real.
start smelling money.
True. It's all about the dollars, right? But if you think about it, if you still think about it, it's still a franchise that it's so rooted in the horror genre. You know, I mean, you can't just ignore stuff, and they didn't. To be fair, they didn't. This movie did not ignore many elements of the first three films or the first film, but from 1976. That's my thought. Frank, Marty, tell me about your experience. What you thought?
I
Tell
won't
everybody
be seeing
out
it
there.
again.
Huh?
I probably won't be seeing it again.
Okay. Why?
Take away the title. This doesn't feel like the Omen to me, man.
It doesn't feel like the Omen to you? Why
No.
not? I'm pressing you for it.
It's like you all said. It sounds like a reset.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that
Like,
be a
like we're
would,
starting
put it
over
past
a new
anybody.
trilogy.
but wouldn't that be okay to you? You wouldn't be okay with that kind of
I
a
mean,
new beginning in that
the
sense?
imagery, the cinematography, I liked. The hand out of the hoo-ha, that was cool. I'm not feeling it, man.
You're not feeling it?
No.
Mari, tell me what you thought.
Maybe I'll watch it one more time when it's streaming just to get a little more idea.
Okay. Mari, what are your thoughts?
Me, I enjoy it as a new film. The
There you go.
cinematography, the imagery,
Yeah.
the fact that he's a twin, twins of evil. Why not? I think
Yeah,
that's cool.
I don't understand that shit.
That's the other thing.
I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that in a bit.
Pretty cool, but we grew up understanding it's just one. But if
Yeah,
they
I
want to reboot it, reimagine it, fine. Just don't call it a prequel to the one in 1970 because it's not.
It's not. I really
It
don't
makes
think it
sense.
is. I don't know why
It
they
makes
said
sense
that.
to have female. The idea they spin it and they made an actual human mother. Okay, I can get with that. Not a problem.
Okay.
But don't call it a prequel.
Right.
That's the problem.
Okay, so Frank is like, it doesn't feel like an Omen film. He's having more of a challenge of getting,
If I went
of
in there
looking at
blind
it.
and you didn't have no title to this film, I'd be like, what is this?
Okay, but yeah, there is a movie you could watch that's like that. It's called Immaculate.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, when you see, dude, go see Immaculate. When you see
I'll
Immaculate,
wait.
you're gonna be like, didn't I just see this movie?
Yeah, it kind of follows the same template.
You saw Immaculate, Bevan?
Yeah, I saw that first. I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way. That way, when we start talking about it, it's
You know
like
what I
it's
mean?
got its own template. Only thing is, it's not a prequel to anything.
Right. It's its own thing.
I think the
And
worst thing they did with final Omen, first Omen was to push Gregory Peck's image. You're not gonna be able to
Yes.
bring him back.
right.
It's like it's forcing it's shoehorned itself in.
They
Almost.
should have done what they do in the Star Wars films when they brought back Peter Cushing.
AI?
Oh God, he's gonna have
Imagine.
dead eyes and
Can
everything.
you imagine that? Mm-mm.
No, but by the way, there's gonna be Immaculate spoilers here too. So if you didn't see Immaculate and you don't care, like if you don't care, fine. But
Don't care.
if you're gonna get mad at me for talking about what I'm gonna give away in Immaculate, I'm gonna give it away. Walk away, and come back and watch it. Are you okay with this, Frank?
I'm fine.
Because I know with Exorcist Believer, you were like, I don't care. I didn't see it.
And I was right.
You was right because you eventually saw it.
His whole face was just
Okay. So all right. So I got better. Okay, Nate.
Okay.
Talk to me, Nate.
Yes, appreciate your guys' takes. I like to see what everybody thought. I think I have a different view of it because I'm not someone who is like I did not grow up with the Omen. I'm a little younger. I'm not saying you guys are old. I'm just a little younger. So I have a little bit of a different perspective on that. I saw the Omen for the first time when I was like maybe a teenager, which was well after it came out. So it was like to me at the time it was an old movie. It wasn't like, now as an adult, I appreciate it a lot more. Obviously, I think it's a horror classic. Absolutely. I don't really like the franchise. I don't think Omen 2 is kind of like a Final Destination movie, essentially. Like every time they mess with him, some random crazy death happens, and that's kind of how it plays out. A 3 was okay. Yeah, 4 is horrible. Everything you guys said about 4, absolutely. It's a TV movie. It's like a Canadian TV movie, is what I read. It's horrible. So, and I thought the remake was okay. As far as remakes go.
I like the remake.
Yeah,
personally.
as far as they go, it was okay. So here, I have pros and cons as well, probably like everybody. I think it's beautifully shot. I think it looks incredible. One thing I love is I love studio horror when it's good. I love when they look like they put money into it and it looks and is shot like a big budget film, but it's a horror movie. You know what I mean? So I thought this did a good job there. Cinematography is fantastic. I'm glad we're going to talk about Immaculate because I had way more issues with that movie than I did with this movie. But And I don't think either one is bad, honestly. I don't think it's a bad film. And I think if people, let's say they haven't seen The Omen, I think they will enjoy this movie. Honestly,
Yeah.
if they like horror movies, I
Like-
think they will enjoy it.
Like, for real, you don't have to see the 1976 movie to watch this and appreciate it, because again,
I
it
agree.
has kind of like if you look at it from a fresh lens without thinking about the 1976 film, you're gonna like it. If you're a horror fan, if you're into that stuff.
I agree. I think it's a good horror film. And I like some of the, I think it relies on jump scares a little bit too many times, which I'm not really crazy with. But one or two of them had some good setups. I think the setups were good. I think it's a little long. Could have been cut a bit. Like 2 hours is.
It was 2 hours.
Yeah, it was 2 hours, and it was about 15 minutes too long, in my opinion. I think there's an hour 45 version of this that's better. To what you guys say, I do agree with the notion that the Gregory Peck thing, what it does is it makes it so you cannot do another sequel to this movie that even is concerned with Damien, in my opinion. You literally have to go with the new characters. You cannot, because he's dead. What are you going to see? Well, let's not put anything past anybody, but CGI him in there and all of a sudden he'll be alive again. And which is a concern, but let's assume they don't do that. You pretty much have to follow this girl, the other baby, and the other girl. And it is now a new.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah, in my opinion,
that threw me off. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, in my opinion, it almost feels like they want to use the name. I do think it felt like an Omen movie.
Yeah,
but I agree with Frank. I mean, I could see especially with the ending, is where it throws it for a loop.
It looked like a post-credit scene.
Yes. Agree. I agree with that. And so to me, it makes it, I was talking to my brother about this. I'm like, it makes it where you cannot do anything with Damien. It almost has to be like they talk about him like he's in America, but you can't really do anything showing him unless they age him forward. And you have to stick with these new people. Maybe that's what they're going for. Reboot. Essentially,
my if they were to make a sequel to that, I think it's definitely going to be centered on
the girl.
On the girl.
It has to be. You know?
This
is a prequel to set up a rebooted Omen series.
Which I'll be real. I'm okay with that. Just don't connect it to the 1976 film the way, because I haven't said my notes yet. I got my notes. I got to show my notes. John Brown has something to say here. He said had a lot of Dario Argento in it. Owes a lot to Suspiria. I get that.
Yeah, I heard that too.
The prequel business could
I can see that.
Yeah, the prequel business could be the studio screwing around for marketing purposes. Also, the Gregory Peck snapshot ending seemed tacked on. I agree. It did seem like they just glued it on there, like just for quick. Put us,
That's one of those things of like, and this happens in a lot of legacy sequels, prequels, whatever, where they want to get they want to get you the nostalgia of, oh, I saw The Omen. Oh, Gregory Peck was in that. There's Gregory Peck. This is The Omen. Like that's what it felt like. Because they
didn't need to show Gregory Peck for it to be an Omen movie.
Because guess what? If they just said all the words without showing the picture, it works. You can literally go.
They could have just said, "Look, we have an American ambassador. We're going to give this kid to," and then they would have left it at that.
We're going to switch the kid. He's going to have the privilege. The moment you show the picture is the moment you are going to have a really hard time doing anything with it.
And right, which is what I'm going to address in a bit. Talking Star Wars. Check this. I like this question. So I haven't read the Omen books. Was Mrs. Baylock a nun? Because I keep trying to find her in the first Omen. Also, perfect casting for Father Brennan and the nun Margaret. I agree. Mm-hmm. Now, Tiger Free was amazing in her role.
She started doing the Harlem Shake at the end. She was doing the Harlem Shake. That was a weird scene. Yeah.
What is going on? That was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to be, but
smoking
weren't they?
Yeah,
weren't they?
Yeah,
I've heard that I heard that they compared that to that movie Possession.
Possession in 1981, correct?
Oh yeah.
Which, funny enough, has Sam Neill in it. And who was Sam Neill?
Yeah,
he was in part 3.
Yeah, he was in part 3.
This is really going to screw things up here and get the final.
But I'll be honest with you. I'm jumping ahead here, because we're talking all this stuff, but I wanna answer his question about Mrs. Baylock. For those of you who know the 1976 Omen, Mrs. Baylock was that nanny that was taking care of Damien, and she was evil. She was the one who threw Gregory Peck's wife out the window in the hospital. Remember that scene?
Yes.
Her, right? Was she in the first Omen? Not that I can tell. However, I could definitely see a nun from there being that, because the book, and I read the book, and I know what's in the book. She is a nun in the book, and she's called Sister Teresa. And her original name was Balak,
Yeah.
which is similar to Balak. And she was part of the coven that helped bring Damien into the world.
You know what I think? The
What?
girl who took her out.
Luce, right?
That could be Mrs. Baylock.
That could be. She fits a Mrs. Baylock. She gave me a Mrs. Baylock vibe. Luce, that girl that was with Margaret, that she roomed with her, and she was like, "Come on, let's go outside. Let's go to the clubs. You never went clubbing? You never went dancing?" And they went out dancing, and they were like, "What is love, baby? Don't hurt," And she was trying to do all that because they wanted to sow their wild oats, so they wanted to, look, we're gonna be nuns. So let's go out and have one more. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. Let's enjoy and live like this, because we're not gonna live like this after that. But what's funny about that is people have asked me, well, how did she get pregnant? Because the idea in the movie, if you remember, she was in the club. She started hanging out with that guy, Paul, whatever the hell.
Yeah,
Paolo, and they were dancing and everything, and she was kind of drunk. And then all of a sudden it goes black, and she wakes up back in her room.
Yeah.
He did the Cosby thing, yeah.
That's when the impregnation occurred.
Yeah.
That was when the impregnation occurred. So that's how she became pregnant. It happened between that moment and because you see the moment when she remembers, when it all comes back to her that it happened, you see Paolo in the coven. Standing there like, oh my God, what have I done? Like he didn't look happy. So yeah. Anyway, so there's that. All right. The movie got a high rating in Rotten Tomatoes. Last time I checked, it was a 78% score. I don't know if that went down or up or whatever. It took $30 million to make, but it hasn't made, as of Sunday, I don't know how much it's made at this point, but as of Sunday, it only made like a little over half of that.
Yeah, it's at worldwide. It's at 18 million worldwide. US it only 9.
Yeah, so it's not doing well in regards to buyback.
No, it opened 4th this week.
Yeah, so that's kind of bad.
What about the critic rating?
The critic?
Audience, excuse me.
Oh, it was kind of high too. I didn't see it actually. Can you get it, Nate?
Yeah, I could tell.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm gonna look what the Goat Metal Show says. Father Brennan, I was there for his birth and I saw its mother. Its mother's Senator Thorne. His mother is a jackal. That's right.
68%.
68% audience score. Okay, so it's not as high. Interesting.
Not as high, but not negative. I mean,
not negative, but okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna, now that you guys shared, let me share with you, with spoilers, my thoughts. There's a couple of things I liked about it. First of all, it was directed. This is not what I liked about it, but I didn't care who directed it. I don't know who the lady is. Arkasha Stevenson is her name. She's new in the filmmaking business. She was more well known for making television things. I liked and appreciated a couple of things. One, the time frame. The movie takes place in 1971, and that was a lot of, and they talk about that. That seemed to have been a vital piece of the story. Father Brennan was telling Margaret about that, about how there's been a decline in the church. A lot of young people are going away from the church and they're protesting and all that.
Yeah.
And the reason why I found that interesting is because that actually kind of was what was happening in that time period. A lot of traditional Catholics have, especially really traditional, um, they tend to kind of blame that on the reforms of Vatican II in the early 1960s, and then it was after that they started having a decline in church attendance. That which started happening. It went through the 70s into the 80s and everything. So I appreciated that kind of, that they were able to talk about that. I liked it. I mean, that's either here or there, and that's another discussion for other things. But I wanted to note that. Yes?
Quick question.
Sure.
The term satanic panic comes to mind. So,
Oh, yeah.
part of it back then, in the 60s or 70s, the term satanic panic?
Yeah, well, it started actually in the mid 60s, especially around the time of a lot of movies started coming around that time with a satanic theme to it, and you had people and you had people like in 1966, Anton LaVey, founder of the First Church of Satan in San Francisco, talking about God is dead and yada yada, and then Rosemary's Baby comes out a couple years later in 1968. And then, of course, we got The Exorcist and a lot of other devil movies that came out in the 70s and stuff like that. So that's the satanic panic you're probably talking about. So, yeah, absolutely. So that's one thing. The next thing I want to mention is the scary shots. There was a lot of creepy shots.
That was good.
That was good, right?
Yeah,
what was the creepy shot for you guys?
I think that's what I was referring to, and I was like, the setups for some of the jump scares were good. I thought there's one early where she's in the room and she's like looking in like her nun outfit is like hanging on the thing.
I wouldn't have put the nun outfit there like that before I went to bed, personally.
All laid out so she don't have to iron it the next day.
But it's standing there looking at her.
Yeah. I thought that was
oh my God, what's that?
See?
That's Vader.
I thought that was a really good shot, and I thought it was a good setup for the jump. And it was one of those scares, like it's coming, but I thought it was pretty effective. Other than that,
he's ready.
Don't make me pull out mine.
I'm sorry, Nate.
No, you're good. There was another one later too, where she's in the like freaking caves or wherever she is. I don't know, and it's dark. It's like really dark, and she could see something. You can't really make out too much.
She's in the. You're talking about when she was locked up in the room.
Yeah,
in the Conjuring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she saw the girl that hung herself.
Yeah, but like that whole leading up to that I thought was a very good shot. As far as dark, like using darkness, it's such a classic, easy way to like set up a scare. Like people don't use it too often.
Agreed.
I think this movie used it pretty good. I think those were two kind of standout, kind of creepy.
You know what other movie did that? Immaculate.
Except Immaculate had never scary. This at least was like a little bit suspenseful.
We're gonna go into the comparisons in a bit.
There's a lot, but
there's
a
lot to compare. I like the. Here's another thing I liked. Well, anybody else like Baron Von? What's your favorite creepy moment in the movie?
Well, Nate already covered that one. That one was pretty good. The one with the. The nun suddenly appearing, turning around.
That was creepy.
That was great.
Yeah, Alex would have hated that because you know how he's scared of the nun.
He would have screamed.
He would have screamed. He would have been like,
that gave off the vibes of The Conjuring with the nun.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Picture and everything. I went.
For me, the hand coming out the Holy Grail. No pun intended.
That was gross. Yeah, that was like.
I wouldn't call that
what is
scary. I considered that more disturbing, if anything.
That's what I love about it.
We're talking about the scene of when Margaret came across the woman giving birth to some creature.
To an arm.
To
By the way,
full-on creepy
that meant
arm.
to be a jackal?
She just, huh?
Was that meant to be a jackal?
I don't know what the hell that was supposed to be.
I think subliminally, that's what she was seeing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because the woman was on the thing, and they had her strapped down, and they gave her something, and she started laughing.
Laughing gas.
Laughing gas, and then the thing starts coming. You see this, and that scene put the movie in the danger of becoming an NC-17 rating.
It was
So
going to be more
they
graphic.
had to redo it. And let me tell you something. What I saw was already bad. Can you imagine what they originally had in mind to show?
Wait for the unrated.
Yeah, hopefully the uncut version.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That- I will see it again with the uncut version.
I love that shit.
Ah!
I think
The whole
the
thing.
scene from
Let's go.
Antichrist was probably worse for me.
Oh, the one where William
The one
Dafoe?
where he's having sex with his wife, and then she picks up a log and just boom right into his privates.
Oh my God.
Love hurts.
I don't like that.
Then she turns around, jerks him off, and blood's coming up.
I don't like that either. It does not sound like.
She finished
not
the
sound like
job.
That is scary. All right. Here's a good question, Justin Sanchez. She had to have given birth to the Jackal, right? You can't just have that scene and have it mean nothing.
I don't think she did,
I
because
think there was only one demonic jackal.
according to what this movie says, and I'm not reading. I know, Ralph, you got all. I mean, the books are different, I'm sure, anyway. But I got nothing. I just watched the movie, and what this movie told me is what I'm gonna go
Okay,
with.
let's. Okay.
I think it was a vision, obviously.
I think it was a vision too.
The fact
but-
is that Jackal within this story, that Jackal's her dad, according to what they
Okay.
said.
Now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes. Now we're gonna get into the elephant in the room, because this is the thing I was losing my mind about for a long time. Ever since I saw that Screen Rant article a few months back.
Yep.
Here we go. Let's put it all out there, guys. And people are already talking about it in the chat, and I am totally getting it here. How is this movie? They're calling it a prequel to the 1976 Omen. They can't do that. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And you know this because in the 1976 film, Damien's mother is a jackal.
Right.
Damien's mother is a jackal.
Yeah, I mean, they literally dug it up. They found it.
They dug up the grave. The name on the tombstone said Maria Sciana. They kept the name, Carlita Sciana, and the whole files, all the files they had. Sciana 15, Sciana 10, Sciana 9. You know, and I found that interesting. But you know, I said, okay, you know, that's an interesting callback. But when they did when they made it, it's hard for me to talk about. You sound
frustrated, like when I get with Exorcist Believer.
Yes,
I still haven't gotten my head unwrapped around that crap.
I need a bucket for that one.
And in this movie, Damien's mother is not a jackal. Damien's mother is Margaret. Everybody was led to believe that it was Carlita in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then it turned out to be Margaret, because she had the 666 mark right here, just like in the baby picture, that old baby picture that was in the. But what upset me was Margaret's giving birth, and I'm like, okay, who's the father? If Damien's father is supposed to be the devil, how is the devil now consigned to the physical body of some monster lichen-looking jackal from Underworld in the back?
It was a lichen all this time.
It was a freaking lichen. Did you see it burning at the end when they set the whole place on fire? You see, I was like, what the hell is that? That's not a jackal. I'm gonna show you a jackal. That's a jackal. Even the jackal right there is saying, that ain't no jackal, man. Okay? I'm just saying. I had that picture ready because I had to address it. Because, if a
Just
person...
like Damien.
Huh?
Nothing.
No, go ahead.
Looks just like Damien.
All I know is, listen, if remember when we were talking about earlier, you don't have to watch the 1976 Home. If somebody, but this is so misleading, because if a person comes in and says, oh wow, that was a great movie,
which I'm
gonna go, and I never saw the 1976 Home, I'm gonna go watch the 1976, and then you go, and then they go to the 1976 and watch they rent it or they buy it or whatever or stream it.
Rafi, one of my tenants at work, he never saw the Omen. Saw this one first. Saw the original. He looked like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah!
He's 23.
You know, it sounds like what Jason Blum I keep saying Bloom, keeps preaching about, like Exorcist Believer. He said what 95% of the people that are going to go see this never seen the original.
Exactly.
It's almost like they're counting on it.
Then why call it a prequel?
I mean, is it? Let's be honest, though. This is a good conversation. Is it any different? Is it really any different than when you take Halloween and you make Halloween 2, the one you love, Ralph, your favorite movie, Halloween 2, Jamie Lee Curtis, this is my sister, Michael Myers, that's my brother. And then 2018 comes out, and they're not related. Now, it's in the other way. It's a sequel where they got rid of a bunch of other stuff. This is the same exact process, except they're doing it in a prequel.
It's a prequel.
And that really, you know why? You know why? Because they're making it a direct connect to 1976.
But they did the same thing in Halloween 2018. It's a direct connect.
But the reason why they were able to
closer.
But the reason why they were able to do that in Halloween 2018 to the Halloween of 1978 was because in the Halloween of 1978, there is no mention of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode being related. As a matter of fact, that was not in John Carpenter's mindset when he made that movie.
I agree.
Didn't they add that for the television?
They added,
broadcast?
yes, because they were already filming Halloween 2, and that's when John Carpenter wrote that in for Halloween 2.
I 100% agree with that, but that's not necessarily my point. My point is, in as far as movie going, like as far as you're making these a prequel, sequel, legacy sequel. They have all these terms now that they throw out all these things anyway. Essentially, when you make these movies, you always have. I agree with you. I don't think the ending works. That's not my point. But my point is, it's not retconning is a thing that happens in film in general, where usually it happens the other way around, where it's a sequel and they eliminate what came before. Whereas here it's a prequel and they're eliminating aspects of what came before. They're trying to have their cake and
don't eliminate the aspects.
Well, no, I'm not. Don't get mad at me. I didn't do it.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just emotional.
They eliminated them. Yeah. It feels like a little bit of they wanted to have their cake and eat it too with that ending. You know what I mean? But
well, you know what? They should have just kept the
new,
cake.
is what I'm saying.
They should have just kept the damn cake because they just messed everybody up. Because Frank's friend just came home like, what did I just watch? Wait a minute.
His face.
Yeah. You watch the prequel.
And that was a long conversation.
You watch 1976, and then you'll be like, wait a minute. And wait a minute. Here's another thing. Father Brennan. In the
they
prequel,
did a number on him.
He was like the good guy from the beginning. He was always there to help and to whatever.
And he was never the good guy.
But meanwhile, in the 1976 film, he goes up to Gregory Peck and be like, "I was there. I witnessed the birth. I saw its mother." No, you didn't. According to the prequel, you didn't. You were passed out in the car after it crashed. You didn't wake up until the next morning. You missed the whole thing.
Well, guess what? Let's. I'm playing devil's advocate again.
Of course,
because you're getting so worked.
Pardon the pun.
I absolutely love it when Ralph gets worked up. It's one of my favorite things.
Great.
So if you look at it this way too,
I take movies like this very to heart. Go ahead.
Well, it's because it's movies you love.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have a Darth Vader in my living room. Who are you talking?
Exactly. If it's movies you love, you're gonna get. You're gonna have a little more attachment.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nate.
Let's talk about like his coworker, 23 years old, never saw the original, went to see this. Let's assume he did not go back and watch the original, right? He's like, this was a really good movie. I really liked it. It's the first Omen. And then in 2 years, they make a sequel, and it's the second Omen. Let's just say it's called the second Omen, right? And wherever that story goes, he watches it. And this is his timeline, essentially. He watched the first Omen, he saw the second Omen, he watched the third Omen, whatever. If eventually he goes back and watches the other ones, yeah, that prequel, not going to tie very well to that movie. However, if they made it a new franchise, guess what? It could tie perfect.
That's what I'm saying.
And where the Halloween reference comes in play is if you take that same scenario, let's say you take someone, he does it the reverse. He watches Halloween 1, right? And then he watches Halloween 2.
Oh, he's going to get to that.
Yeah, he watches Halloween.
No.
4.
So, well, the
He watches
idea
5.
is
He
don't
watches
watch
when he gets
those.
to 28. Well,
yeah,
you
the
can't
legacy.
I mean,
We're supposed to erase everything after the original film.
Right.
exactly. The point is, though, you get the same effect. The Halloween 2 doesn't make as much sense if you've never seen them and you watch them in order. When you get to 2018, you'll be like, wait a second, what's going on? And that's the same thing that happens here, where you go back and watch the Omen, like his coworker. He goes back and watches it. He's like, wait a second, this don't make it. They got there a little quicker. It was a little weirder, but there are going to be people who are going to be like, I don't like old movies. I don't want to watch that old 1970s movie.
Like The Exorcist.
Follow this. Yeah, or The Exorcist. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. There's a lot of people like, I'm not going to watch that.
Father Brennan's played by Basil Rathbone.
Yeah, Basil Rathbone. Who's that? Kids don't even know who that is. Basil. So I'm just saying it will work it will work within its timeline if they made more of them. I still agree with you. It does not work all the way as it does. It does not.
I can see this happening if it's an alternate franchise.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to somebody's gonna have to body double and deep fake Gregory Peck's face on somebody.
Yo,
and with everything happening, they're probably gonna play it. I could see it playing it like how they filmed Back to the Future 2.
Yes.
You know, hey, somebody's they're hiding behind a tree watching this all happen. You know, this kind of thing.
Someone
you don't interfere with what's going on.
It's the Omen verse.
It's called advertising.
What happened?
One of your comments said something pretty funny that actually makes sense. Ralph Love said her father is the Jackal, so that makes her a Jackal. So Damien's mother is a Jackal.
Technically, that is true.
Yeah, you can argue that, but it's elephant in the room. Why would Father Brennan even bring that up? You know, he probably tried to explain that to Gregory Peck, saying, "Well, technically, she's not a Jackal, but she's got Jackal blood."
What was that thing in this movie? Technically, you know, it was a werewolf.
They got it.
And she was mating with the Gamork from Neverending Story. You know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought that was
okay. Here's a question. According to the first Omen, who received the mark?
What do you mean?
Well, who received the mark? Everybody got the mark, right?
Everyone who was born from that Jackal.
Right. So does that mean Father Brennan was born from the Jackal as well? Or the whole offspring?
No, here's the problem.
Because
I know
he's got the mark.
Yes, that's another part. In the original film, after Father Brennan dies, the photographer Jennings talks to Robert Thorne and tells him they found this thing on the inside of his right thigh, 3 6s, and they said it was a birthmark. It talks about it here too.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what that's about. In all the books, all of them, and which I've read all 5, and they don't really touch on it in any of the movies. This is the only time you really see it.
Yeah, if you bring it up now, that's what they're going to use. They're going to say, "Yeah, that's what happened."
Any
the followers got marked.
All the followers, the mark just appears on them somewhere. Okay. In Father Brennan's case, it was in the inside of his right thigh. Remember Burer, the guy who became president of Thorne Industries in Damien Omen 2? The one that looked like Mike Brady.
Yeah.
He looked like Mike Brady. Of my head, be real. He looked like Mike Brady. Like he looked. Yeah, exactly. In the
3
book,
boys of his own.
In the book, he got the mark in his finger, in his right hand.
That's weird.
Yeah, but he hit it with a ring, right? And of course, there's the whole thing in the Book of Revelation, chapter 13, that whoever gives allegiance to the Antichrist would receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead. So nobody can buy or sell unless they have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. That's in Revelation 13.
Pretty good comment.
Where?
The goat metal show.
Okay, talk to me.
Which makes sense. In the 76 version, Brennan says he saw the birth, and in this movie, he doesn't see nothing. He's not in there.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he's in the car, like knocked out.
Like I told you, he got knocked out when the car crashed into the car, and then Margaret came out to do her dance.
Essentially irrelevant
right?
in this version of it.
Yeah, Like it has nothing to do with it. You know what would have been cool? If she would remember how in the scene when she was giving birth to and she's on the and they're all surrounding her and they all got the robes on, right?
If he was hidden, and
If
just
he was
kinda-
amongst them with the robes,
Yeah.
that would have been a cool
Probably,
shocker. People
yeah.
would have been like, "Oh, he was part of it the whole time." That would have been hot. I call that a missed opportunity. And then that would have been all right, and that would have been in line. I witnessed the
Well,
birth.
if they
I was
kept
there.
that, if they kept the route that they were going, he could have always been watching as a witness to it as well. Like he was
Probably.
there, but nobody knew he was there.
Oh, like he snuck in like a ninja or something?
Yeah,
He's like
maybe
hanging on the
maybe he was
ceiling,
going to rescue her or something. It was too late, and she was already giving birth. I kind of get the impression that the female is going to be like a good.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute.
Please, I'm curious. I have my
In the first, because I know this one, Mari, I know this angle of the story. You found very interesting.
intrigue me.
What's up with Damien now having a twin sister? I felt like I was watching Return of the Jedi. I have no sister. You were hidden from your father when you were born. Like I felt like
it's funny. Didn't she? Isn't her name Layla?
No. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that abomination of a movie called Omen 4 Awakening again.
Her name was Delia. And
Delia?
4. The little girl's name is Delia.
Yeah, Delia.
Okay.
Sounds like a dishwashing detergent. No.
Let's make a
My
Delia.
dishes are dirty. Try some Delia. No.
You have coffee stains? Get it out with Delia.
She'll wash it.
I won't be surprised. Listen, I won't be surprised if they give her that name or a variation of that name to try to tie in all 4. I won't be.
I don't want them to tie in the 4th one. Don't make
probably
the 4th
would.
one. That's worse. Listen,
I'm thinking that's what they might do.
if her mother's a human nun, I'll take that over 4 any day of the week, twice on Sunday. I swear to God. Please don't give me nothing with 4. Please.
That little baby's gonna be named.
I won't be.
Delia.
Listen,
I'll tell
I
you
won't be
right now.
surprised.
Nah, man. I want her name to be
Hey, don't.
Jill or something.
But I
Something
won't be
basic.
surprised.
You know why they're gonna do it? Just for that thing of like, oh, I remember the Omen 4.
No. I want to
Delia.
forget Omen 4. That's the thing.
I can see them doing a film based on the sister.
What I think is going to happen is that there's going to be a time jump, and I think the events of the 1976 Omen would have come and gone. Damien's now in Chicago being raised by his uncle, and we're going to go back to the whole wherever these people are going to be. We're talking about Margaret. We're going to talk about Carlita and the little girl, and they'll probably move to another city somewhere. I don't know where, and then all of a sudden bad things are happening again, and
They have
it
to.
gets all crazy.
That's
They
the
might
only way.
know each other. They might be teenagers or close to age 20s, early 20s.
And then we
Yes.
find out it's triplets.
No, Ralph Love makes a great point. Damien's mom is his sister because they have the same.
Ew, yeah. Think about it. Was interbreeding.
They're all sisters.
Yeah,
It
they said
was
they had to. They said it was
interbreeding.
the only way that it would work
Yeah.
to have a boy.
His mom and his
Then-
twin and the other girl. Yeah, Carlita.
Yeah,
Margaret
All
has
his sisters.
Carlita is Margaret's sister.
Yeah.
Damien is her little brother, and the other little girl,
The
the
big
twin, is her little sister, and their dad is the guy that looks like a lichen in the back. Is he the son of Satan or of a jackal?
All right, that was
Is
the
Wait,
question.
are you talking about the
Satan
jackal?
is a
Jackal.
jackal.
Mhm.
Then where's Satan? I could see the devil like this. Hey, remember me?
He didn't
Can
want
he
to be
not-
in
Could he not have taken the form
It's
of
gonna be
that?
played by John
Then
Lovitz.
Then why did he have a problem getting all burnt up at the end? Like
I'm
he was
just
a physical being. Satan
Well,
was
because
not
he
a
took a physical
being.
form, so you could still burn a physical.
Mhm.
Oh, and then his
Yeah,
spirit
yeah.
just went away.
The spirit. Remember, it's the
Yeah,
spirit.
why not? When you're dealing
Okay,
with
fine.
supernatural stuff, you can't
I'll take that. Fine,
think too
but
much
but
logic.
Possess.
it looked like it didn't look like a. It wasn't.
What if Ralph? What if it was a jackal? What if it was that, and when he possessed it, it turned into the other thing?
It was the violator.
It was Wile E. Coyote all this time.
Vaughn was right next to him.
super genius?
I was gonna ask. That was a question I had. I was like,
Yeah.
you
What's the
know,
question?
of the film, like in general, one of my negatives, because I thought it was good, but I was just like, wait a second. He says they have a jackal in his crazy voice, the Father Brennan. They go the jackal, and I'm like, okay, they got a jackal. Okay, that's a callback to the original, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you see it, sort of, and I'm like, damn, that is a monster. That is not a jackal per se. And then I was like, how exactly are these people like controlling it? Where did they get it? How did it get in there? And that's why I made this thing of like, well, maybe it is just the devil, and that's the physical form he took, because there's no other explanation for how.
Yeah, but they kept him in the back behind the curtains.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
What did they feed him? Did they feed him? Did they go to the pet store and pick? Wow, what did they do?
You got even more. That's what I'm saying.
Cleaned up after him.
I'm like, I don't understand.
What happened, Baron?
Said, who cleans up after him?
Yeah.
It's a lot of jackals.
It's your turn. Go in there. Like, no, I ain't
got
going
one of the old nuns out there like scooping up.
Those are the questions that, when you do something like that, it leads to those sort of questions. Like, well, what is it? Why is it specifically?
How?
How to get there.
I'm just curious what they're gonna do with the twin girl. Like, how is she?
Yeah.
Well,
And
again,
curious what's gonna happen.
And I will say, like, we haven't gotten to like the Immaculate thing you want to do, but that movie,
let's get on with that. Okay,
does a better job in that regard of explaining the pregnancy part of it.
Yes.
At least they try.
Yes.
Now, whether you buy it or not is a different story, but at least they explain it.
Ready for Immaculate spoilers? Are you guys okay with this?
I don't care.
Okay, here we go. Immaculate. Get ready. I'm going to spoil it. Nun, same scenario. Young nun, Sydney Sweeney, right? She's a young nun. She comes to the United States. She goes to Italy. She wants to be a nun, right? So she goes to, and she's in a convent, and they take care of people in hospice, which is the extreme opposite of the orphanage in Omen 2, because the kids are little and they're babies, and over here they're old and they're dying. Okay. So she's there, and a priest there is taking care of her the same way the cardinal, played by the guy from Underworld, was taking care of Margaret,
Is this in Rome?
Yeah.
No, it's up, but it's still in Italy. It's up
Italy.
in the hills, somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
It's also in
Italy.
modern times. It's not in like
and it's in modern times, not in 1971. Okay, so, and then what happens is strange things start happening. Right, a woman throws herself off the roof.
How original.
That happened in the first Omen too, and she hung herself and set herself on fire.
Yeah, what was the point of that?
It's a nod to the nanny that hung herself in
right.
The first
To
film.
me, when that happened with that nanny, it was to make way for Mrs. Baylock. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, but not
what
in
was
the
the
first
reason
Omen,
for the
in
other
my
girl?
opinion.
Like a catalyst, you think?
In the 1976 film,
Remember,
yes,
Betty?
it was to make way for Miss Baylock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But in this one, I think you mean this one, right? Where she does
Immaculate?
she burns herself.
no. In the first Omen, why does that nun do it?
Yeah.
CGI
I
fire.
think I'm guessing as a catalyst to the next events.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I really don't know.
For
why
everybody
she
to say,
did it.
"Hey, remember when that happened?" And the other one.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like again.
Or a nod, maybe.
Member berries.
But check again. Immaculate. Now I'm gonna get into the meat and potatoes of Immaculate. You know what the nun finds out? She's pregnant, and everybody's like, "Ooh, it's an immaculate conception." They did a sonogram, and they were like, "Ooh, look, she's pregnant," and they think she was immaculate. That's why the movie's called Immaculate. So all the nuns are like, "Ooh," and then it turns out, here it comes. The priest that was taking care of her used to be a geneticist, a genetic scientist before he became a priest. And he's crazy, right? So what happens is he had one of the nails that pierced Christ, which is like a relic, right? It's like an old relic. So people are like, "Oh my God, that's awesome." So one of the nails of Jesus. So what he did was he took the DNA of the nail, 2,000-year-old DNA.
Yeah,
figure that, and gave and they tried it before on different people, like at least many people.
Yeah, like there's a bunch
many
of
other
jars
there were
full
other
of-
nuns
yeah.
that were experiments to breed and bring back Jesus. Yeah,
He's
The
not
second coming, in other words.
the second coming. Yes,
But they didn't.
and they showed that when the nun went into his laboratory, she saw all these jars with all these deformed babies, which is very reminiscent of what we saw in the first Omen when Margaret was looking at the files and saw pictures of all these deformed babies because they were all female and it didn't work. They needed a male to be the Antichrist, right? So you have and then when she gave birth at the end, by the way, that was a crazy performance at the end.
Oh,
Sydney
amazing
Sweeney, when she was pushing out that
I mean,
baby.
both of these
The
actresses had to do
twins
some
were
really
born.
weird
Huh?
parts when it came to the babies.
Immaculate.
Yeah.
What, Marty?
I'm sorry, you're talking about Immaculate or
Immaculate.
Okay.
Both. No, both.
Well,
both of these
yeah,
actresses
but I'm talking
had to do some
specific.
crazy stuff in those scenes.
Yes, and I'm specifically talking about Immaculate now, though,
Okay.
and she pushes it, and the thing you don't see the baby in Immaculate when Sydney Sweeney, when her I forgot her character's
hear
name,
it.
pushes it out, but you can hear it. You hear it growling. You hear
It breathes like it has asthma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it didn't sound human.
So you're telling me the whole start of the plot of that movie was the DNA of Jesus?
Yes. It wasn't
The
even
Jurassic Park?
supernatural. It wasn't supernatural at all. There was no supernatural thing. In the first Omen, it's a supernatural thing. In Immaculate, it's all science. It's all like a crazy mad scientist who wanted to bring Jesus back genetically through his blood on one of the nails of the cross. He said, we got to bring him back. I'm like, and I started to say, wait, you're a priest. You don't know that he already did come back? He's up in heaven right now. He went that way. Don't you read Acts 1? Like I just felt like, what are you, stupid? Like I was just wondering what the hell. And then, so here I am looking at Immaculate, and then I see the first Omen. I'm like, okay, in Immaculate, they're trying to bring back Christ. In the first Omen, they're trying to bring the Antichrist. So I think they should get those two together and let them
crossover.
Open up a theme park?
A crossover.
open up. No, make it like bring back, put them together, and like Godzilla versus Kong or something. I don't know.
It is definitely like when when they do the twin movies where it's like a Volcano and Dante's Peak came out at the same time.
Yeah,
Armageddon and Deep Impact came out.
Yes,
it's
it
like
had
that.
that
Like, they're
same
very
kind of. There were similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But these two movies came out like 2 weeks apart from each other.
Gremlins, Ghoulies.
Huh?
I do. Yes,
2 weeks.
Gremlins. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same thing. I do think. I think so. As far as Immaculate goes, I mean, I like the concept. I like the concept. I think it's a little. I like the first Omen better. I like the first Omen better because of the supernatural element.
Me too.
Rather than we scraped some DNA off this old metal, and we're somehow able to then also put it into a woman and make her like. There's a lot that goes into that. That even if you had like a DNA strand,
I was like, "What the Supreme Leader Snoke is going on here?" When I was watching Immaculate,
it
was the same
idea. The
goddamn
idea
thing.
is not bad, and the fact that there's this sect in that church that wants to bring Jesus back rather than an evil, I thought it was an okay concept. Execution wise, I think it's fine. I think this movie felt more impressive to me in a lot of ways. That one's very small scale,
which is what, and
quiet.
Here's something else about that. Sydney Sweeney has had the idea. She was part of the writing for this, actually. And
she got the script years ago. When
years
she was
ago, long before. What's her name? What's her
Male Tiger Free?
Arkasha Stevenson. Long before Arkasha Stevenson was offered to make this movie.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney got she was had that script for years and years when she was younger. And now that she's able to produce, she just made it herself.
Right. So somebody snuck into her house.
Yeah.
A couple years ago and said, "You know what?"
It left me with so many more questions than answers. And
Which
I feel
questions?
Oh my God!
Which movie you talking about?
Immaculate.
Oh,
yeah. Well. I feel like the first Omen, the one thing besides the Jackal thing, which I was like, why and what and where and how. I agree with Chev Ken, by the way. I think they answer things better in the first Omen than they do in Immaculate. Personally, there's a way more open-ended things. There's way less explanation of certain things in Immaculate. And it's one of those things of like, I feel like they were going for this sort of weirdness for weirdness sake. Let's have these things. They wear these masks. But we're never really gonna talk about them. We're not really gonna tell you what they are or who.
There was some graphic stuff they cut off when they cut off that nun's tongue.
Yeah. Oh no, I like some of that. No, I'm fine with that. I didn't hate the movie. I'm just like,
no, I didn't hate it either.
I was constantly like,
I liked it.
What is that and why? And they never talk about it. And that is an opposite of this, in that this should have been about 15 minutes shorter, and that one should have been about 15 minutes longer to explain certain things. It's very short. It's like 85 minutes or something like that. So I'm just kind of like, I was a little puzzled. I think they're both good. I definitely think where did Ralph go? Well, I guess I'm taking over now. It's my live stream. I think the first Omen was a better.
I guess if you talk about Omen too long, yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
Surprise.
Don't worry. I hosted for that 13 seconds.
I'm sorry. I pressed the wrong my. You know how you're playing with your mouse and your finger kind of does this real quick, like it's.
Actually, it reminded me of that blackout scene in Final Omen that seemed to last so long.
I
thought the movie was over. I was like, okay, now what?
Which one?
After the one where they do a close up on her eye at the end of this long ass blackout moment.
Yeah. Oh, you know what was creepy? When they had her upside down and her hair was hanging and she was going. She had that smile on her face, like the movie Smile. It reminded me of Smile. Remember the movie Smile last year?
Yeah.
Reminded me of that. And she's floating back. Oh my God! I was like, ah! It was creepy.
Real quick, another topic. The new Joker trailer is premiering tonight. Go ahead.
Oh, good to know. I know you're a big DC fan.
Yeah. Well, Batman.
You're all about Batman. All right, good to know.
I wasn't too crazy about the reason that these church members gave for bringing the Antichrist.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
No.
Here's. First of all, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Baron Von. If you had a.
Oh no, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
The other thing was this whole hit and miss issue where they're trying to birth a male.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because the Antichrist.
Here you've got like the 1976, and it's like you have the signs happening like in the poem.
Yeah,
when the Jews return to Zion in a comic. How many times is that comic going to rip the sky every time they're trying to birth the Antichrist?
That's
like,
true.
It's back again. Let's try again.
Ripped the comment's like, hold on, guys, they're trying again. I got to go rip the sky one more time.
To me, that doesn't give a trial and error kind of sense.
Yeah.
It's more like this all happens because
why?
This point.
Because in the book and in the original film, it was a one and done event. It wasn't a series of attempts. In fact, in the book historically, there's a whole chapter in this where it talks about briefly that there were two attempts to birth the Antichrist in history. The first one was in the year 1090 something, and then the second attempt was in the year 17 something. And what they call the watchdogs of Christ found the Antichrist and killed it before it had a chance to. Who are the watchdogs of Christ? The Bugenhagens. There was a whole lineage of them living for thousands of years, and their main task was to make sure the Antichrist didn't rule. And in this time frame, in this timeline,
they could have made a movie. They could have made a movie about Bugenhagen.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. Yes.
I'm thinking, unless that sign happened when Damien was born, other signs were not the correct sign. I'm wondering.
What sign?
This sign, like the what's it called? The
comet?
The Zion, all that stuff. Maybe when he was born, those are the correct signs. If that makes sense.
Are you talking about the comet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I suppose. But the motivation is what messed me up. You're,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
right, Darren Von. The motivation, and Father Brennan talked about it in depth in the first Omen. He talked about how, because, and it's related to what I was talking about earlier, how the church was losing attendance. People are not coming to the church anymore. They don't believe in God anymore. They don't want anything to do with it. So they said, well, why don't we create? And it's on the ad of the movie, create something to fear. So I have an idea. Like, I don't know. There was a whole bunch of priests that were like in the table. How are we gonna get more people back in the church? And the priest said, you know what? I got an idea. Like I'm like, what the fuck? If I was on that table, I'd be like, I don't think that would be very conducive to our progress. Like, what the hell? Think about it.
Let's scare them back in.
Let's scare them back by bringing the Antichrist into the world, and the Antichrist rises to power, and he's walking around going, hey, I'm the Antichrist, worship me. And people will be like, we got to go back to the church. No, that's not how it works.
He comes back as a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push back a little bit. Okay. I do think it's a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea.
I do think it's a good idea.
How?
And
I know where I think I know where you're going.
No,
Go ahead.
I think it's a good idea. It's a flawed idea. I think that's different. The not that the plan is bad in and of itself, but it's flawed because it may not work. Right?
It doesn't work.
Well, we don't know. In the movie, this is a movie.
Oh,
it's not real
I know
life,
it doesn't work. Trust me.
No. Well, we don't know if it doesn't work because, again, it's a movie. It's not real life. So, and we don't know if there's a sequel, whatever. The point is, though, I think it's not. I don't think it's a bad idea. Like on paper,
I don't see it happening in their lifetime.
No, yeah, definitely not. It's definitely one of those things of like this is a long-term church, Catholic Church first thought, not necessarily satisfaction of the individuals. So I don't think it's a terrible plot. I just think it may not work. Absolutely, you're right. I agree with that. But I thought the idea was okay. I mean, what other reason could there possibly be other? Because then what's the alternative? We're gonna bring them because we want evil, and that is way less interesting than let's scare people into growing the church.
Yeah, but here's where now here I go. You know how I roll.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. The thing with that is, here's my problem with that motivation or idea. It's a self-defeating process. The reason why it's a self-defeating process is because if you want to bring people back into the church, there are other ways to do it without compromising who you are as a church. Now, the motivation, and I watched an interview with the director, and she said this, and I said, "Oh, you little okay." She was like, she said something about how the church is always this hierarchical, that they want power, and because of the lack of attendance and people moving away from the church, they're losing that power. So this is more about their grip on power. And one of the big and even though throughout history there have been different periods in church history where greedy clerics, even popes, I admit it, have been power-hungry little bastards that just wanted to, control the masses for X, Y, and Z reasons, okay? That's not the whole thing. That wasn't every single pope, and that wasn't every single bishop. So you do not throw out the baby with the bathwater. What you do is you take what was originally the original message of the church, which is whatever, and according to the Catholic Church, and I believe it, I subscribe to it, Jesus himself founded it, follow what he says. Because he didn't say, hey, guess what? Get a Jackal.
Buy a Trump Bible.
Buy a Trump Bible and get and birth the Antichrist so I can fight him when I come back. He didn't say that. He did say, and many early church fathers in history has also written about it, that as time went on closer to the second coming of Christ, there would be an increase in rebellion against the church, an increase in lawlessness, an increase in godlessness. It's what Second Thessalonians chapter 2, when it talks about the Antichrist in there, it talks about something called the great apostasy, which is a falling away from the faith, a big one, a worldwide one, right? So though I agree with that part, it doesn't talk about how it motivates clerics that are like, I saw the cardinal after Damien was born, and they handed the baby around to all the hooded people at the end of the movie, and he blessed it in the name of the Padre. What are you blessing the Antichrist for? He's the son of the effing devil. So I was like, So
why do you rub alcohol on inmates going to get executed? I don't know.
Ralph, if I may,
sure,
if I may, while your argument is good, I liked it. Thank you for sharing. It does not work. It works in that's more based in reality, and it does not work as the premise of a horror film to be more Christ-like.
It worked in here.
Well, listen, it doesn't. You can you're not going to be make a horror film where the priests are just trying to actually be good priests. We're just trying to be good priests, and that's it. And then whatever. The point of this movie is that it is a sect. It is not. I didn't get the vibe that the movie was saying the entire Catholic Church is behind this idea. It definitely felt more like a small group within the church that had this idea. So I didn't get the vibes of like necessarily that it's all of them, and this was the worldwide idea of the Catholic Church to do this. It seemed more.
No, it wasn't a worldwide idea.
Yeah, it was a small amount of people.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So in that regard, it worked. And you're also, you got to factor in people, humans in general, men, very proud, the hubris, we can control it. We can do this and we can control it and it will work. And the pride that they have, that they think it's going to work, all of those things factor in too. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think the plan will work. Obviously, most likely it goes totally off the rails and opposite of what they think. But I do think it is a good and interesting idea for why they're doing what they're doing. Because I
don't like the idea that they're approaching Satan of their free will more than I like the idea that they were influenced by Satan.
Could they have been? I don't know. That's something the movie doesn't explain good, because I don't even know what that Jackal thing is or how they got it or why it's in there.
Exactly.
So,
did they go to a pet store? What happened?
Nothing could have visited them.
They didn't have Amazon yet.
Yeah. They could have been.
1971.
Jackal, those are the sorts of things that they don't explain as much.
There were no pet
Google
codes.
Demonic Jackal. Here we go.
There were no
demon monsters.
Somebody
they didn't have a pet
on eBay.
They didn't have a PetSmart. So
Rob, let me ask something real quick. It's interesting to know that although it may have been a sect, that sect was in Rome. What's in Rome? The Vatican.
Exactly.
The heart of Catholicism.
Exactly.
I think that's kind of the point. That's the
Here, let me.
That's the heart.
Yeah.
But let me read. Let me read this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to read a section of the Omen here, where it talks about the coven in Rome, where Father Brennan. He had a different name in the book, but.
Hey, Ralph, can I ask you a question before you read?
Sure.
Real quick. Now, is it true that this started as a screenplay and then was novelized? Became the novelization?
Yeah, but they both came from the same person, David Seltzer.
Right. Which came first, the novel or the screenplay?
I think the screenplay came first, and then David Seltzer took the screenplay he wrote and transposed it into a novel, which, in my opinion,
I'm just curious what would add or what was lost.
Yeah. Well, a lot was added in the book because it talked about, he described the coven. And it talked about this. The devil was worshipped by the desecration of God. The coven was made up mostly of working class people, but few were professional, highly placed men. On the outside, they all led respectable lives. This was their most valuable weapon against those who worshiped God. It was their mission to create fear and turmoil, to turn men against each other until the time of the unholy one had come. Small groups called task forces would forge out to create chaos wherever possible. The Coven in Rome took credit for much of the turmoil in Ireland, using random sabotage to polarize Catholics and Protestants and fan the fires of religious war. And then it continues to talk about how, you know, the night of the Cross and everything.
Sounds about right for what I watched.
But there's nothing in there that says that they wanted to make people come back to the church. So
yeah, but this movie's not based on that book. That's the problem. This movie.
Well, this movie's not based on the 1976 film either, and that's a problem.
It is.
It's its own thing. Again, it's
trying to connect itself.
Exactly. Yeah. It's trying exactly. But it is its own thing. You're absolutely right. Which is why that it doesn't necessarily apply to this movie because it's not from that.
Baron Von, I got a question here from somebody in the chat. I'm gonna he's kind of curious about this. Kev Chen says, doesn't the Ouija board make you feel uncomfortable because he notices the Ouija board behind you?
No, what makes me feel uncomfortable is when that Reagan figure behind me's eyes move.
Yeah, that thing is scary.
Sometimes, like you, if you watch its hand, you know, I don't have any video proof, but it'll do this, like,
Don't do that. Don't
Put
say
it back.
that, yo.
I'm more curious about the two pictures with the cleavage on the wall. Who are these women?
Oh, that's Linda Blair up there.
That is
she's
Linda
possessed
Blair.
in the second. Yeah,
right.
That's all Linda Blair, except
he doesn't
for,
like
Eileen
Linda Blair.
Dietz
She
over
was
there.
mean to him.
He's a bitch.
Yeah. She didn't like. He didn't. He doesn't
Yeah,
like
but
her.
she looked good in that top. Oh,
Yeah, she had a great ride.
Ideal me.
Won't argue with you on that one.
You know. So let's see. Let's go to the chat. See what other people have to say. Sandy Reynolds says, "I love it. It's great to have some stuff finally non-mainstream coming out. Brilliant." Okay. I think she was talking about maybe Immaculate because it was more. That's not as mainstream as something like The Omen.
The Omen is more mainstream, I think.
Yeah. Kev Chen says that's like Pazuzu in Exorcist 2, the heretic saying, "I am Pazuzu." Rah. Yeah, remember that part in Exorcist 2 when the priest I'm Pazuzu. First of all, demons don't say their name unless they're made to.
Right.
In an exorcism. So they already flawed there. That's why that movie sucks. Anyway. God,
well, you know what really gets me is, you know, like you go back to the 40th anniversary. Marin knew its name.
Oh, yeah.
But he never used it.
Right. Jamel Lopez says the scene with Father Brennan and Margaret talking about chaos and no one caring was really crazy because this is happening now. Well, yeah, you know, it kind of ties into what I was talking about earlier. The 70s was a time of, early 70s was a time of turmoil. It was the end of the, you know, we were still in the Vietnam War. There was a lot, that's why there was protesting in the streets in Italy. You know, people with the signs and everybody wanted to like smack each other, like little whatever, you know, like, so yeah, you know. So it fit into the narrative of the story. I get it. But again, I just think that that's a dumb motivation. Like, let the Satanists be really Satanists, not Catholics that have a misguided sense of wanting to do the right thing. Fucking shit. What? That doesn't make sense. So anyway, you know. So
I got a question.
Sure.
What did you guys think of the sort of I don't know. I don't want to call it subtext or like allegory or anything, but like the whole thing about like the female body autonomy, that whole sort of message, because that's 100% a lot what they were going for, especially if you read interviews with like for both
the director talked about that.
Immaculate and for Omen. It's in both. The whole thing of like women not having control over their body and
so
church,
not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but you know, like this is kind of reeling in the back of my head. And it seemed like they made such an effort to flip the whole Jackal thing, and it sounds like this is what we're talking about.
Could be.
It was such a big deal to move that. It was like one of the first things, if you remember right, Ralph. Did I send you that article, or did you find that on yourself?
Which one? About the screen
one from
rant?
Screen Rant, where
I
they
think
had to make
it might have been. I
was-
think it was you that sent it to me.
Yeah, it was, and they made it sound like it was so necessary.
It wasn't
to
necessary.
change that. It was like one of the first things they changed.
You know,
that
to be real with
it's
you,
like there's a plan.
to be
Absolutely.
real, you know what? They could have still kept it. You know why? Because
Yeah,
remember
they
that
didn't want
part
to.
when the car crashed and Margaret came out, she started doing convulsing,
The Harlem
doing
Shake.
the Harlem Shake, or whatever that
Yeah.
she was doing. Right? I swear, when I first saw that with Jamel on Tuesday, I was starting to look intently, like, "Yo, is she about to turn into a jackal?"
I was thinking the same thing too. Remember I said that? Because
I thought I was gonna see some
Yeah,
howling
howling.
shit right now at that moment.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the memes. You know,
I
where
would
they
have
add music in
accepted
the
that.
background. You know, she's a brick. Ow.
I would have. Yo, I was. I was.
growling. You hear the growls as she's.
She was grunting and growling like an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a turn on.
When she started doing this with her shirt, I thought I was going to see a hairy
Yeah.
chest.
But what did you think? Did you read much into it, or you just kind of
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well,
As far as that
well,
element of it.
yeah, like I told you. What that scene?
No. The ideas. So, okay.
Which ideas are you talking about? There were so many.
Well, the one I mentioned. As far as women, the whole body
yeah.
autonomy thing. That was like a big
That
thing
was
they were
that was
pushing.
part of their thing. And like, yeah, we're gonna present the woman's body, like it's. And I'm like,
And they don't have no control over it.
They have no
and
control over
People are
it.
just gonna do what they want with it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all
They're
that kind
gonna.
of
All
stuff.
these nuns are gonna. The nuns are smoking, so they know what they're doing with their bodies. They give themselves cancer or whatever. It doesn't matter. There were a lot of smoking nuns in this.
I feel like
Have you noticed?
They always got their smoking nuts.
Yeah.
Trampoline and smoking.
Trampolines and smoking.
Somebody made
which
a comment
happens.
about
It's cool.
you know, like between Immaculate and the first Omen, where it's like this might be a little far fetched, but here you got like first Omen with like a pro-choice, you know, where you're keeping the baby, and then Immaculate where she's getting rid of it.
Yeah,
because it's
She's
her
like,
choice.
You can't force me to do it. I'm gonna kill this baby. Yeah, it's 100% intentional.
And Margaret was about to kill Damien.
Yeah,
After
but
she
didn't.
slit this guy's throat, she grabbed the baby and she was like ready to.
Mhm.
But then she saw the baby was and she couldn't do it. Right?
You are my baby.
The
I
baby
love
was
you.
she got mad. So and then they left her there to burn. And then Carlita came and saved both her and the girl baby. And they escaped the fire. And that was the end of that.
What was anybody's thoughts on this whole thing with the spiders?
Yeah, what's up with the spiders? I
don't know.
I don't know where that came from.
I thought it was just a pretty cool transition. I didn't.
It
really,
was
I didn't really get much.
I mean, they did
symbolism.
that thing where they had the
Symbolically?
spider
Symbolic, I
on
guess.
her,
Yeah.
and then they had this where it's like a strange overlay where they have like a lot of spiders on her.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
that
like, okay,
transition,
that's
yeah.
very
There's
artsy.
significance behind that. There has to be.
It has to be, but what I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna dig into it. I could care
I'm
less.
thinking maybe because there's so many variations of his offspring.
I honestly,
Alita.
in hindsight, I thought it was more of one of those things of like you're watching this movie and you are supposed to assume this is a good character who's, you know, whatever, and it's almost like a foreshadowing that something is not necessarily right, that these spiders are comfortable sort of being around her. Other than that, I got nothing. I just thought it looked like it was a couple of cool shots, and the little spider looked like a tiny tarantula. I thought that was pretty cool. The real little one.
It was cute.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at the little cute spider.
It's Grogu.
I'm wondering if that actually means like significant symbolically, and maybe it does mean something if you read into the lore of spiders.
Maybe.
It's the Easter egg for the new
I
Madam
could-
Web seat.
Right. I create a web. I create a web of the seat.
Yeah, that's it.
And you fall into my trap. of the seat.
And webs are sticky, so they're in a sticky situation.
We're all
You
just
have to
living more
wait till that little featurette comes out with a director explaining the
that's about-
spiders. You know,
Oh,
like
I know.
David Gordon Green with 5
Oh, no,
featurettes
keep
explaining
David
what in the
Gordon-
world he was
For the love
doing.
of God, keep him away from movies now. Horror movies, at least. Let him go back to other stuff. But, maybe Margaret that's what she was acting like, a spider. When she came out of the car.
I was really hoping she would change into a jackal. That would
The cat, I would have been like,
Hear her
okay,
grunting.
that's good. I would have been like, that's some crazy shit right there. And she would have died.
She was thinking of some new moves for the disco.
Why do you need a twin? What's that about? You know what that is? You know what the twin thing is? Like, we gotta make another one. That's what that's about.
They're gonna make another one.
They're gonna make another one. They're gonna be like the second Omen,
and we're gonna be there to watch it.
And then the third Omen.
It's gonna be the one where she meets Damien at camp and realizes they're twins, and then she cuts her hair, and they do the whole Parent Trap thing and sweat.
Yeah.
Maybe they ruled together. Who knows? Who knows?
There was this one time in band camp. I met my brother.
I stuck a cross up my pussy.
I met my brother, who's also my son.
That sounds like a Reagan.
No, that was Reagan. But anyway,
one time at band camp when I took a crucifix.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I took the 7 daggers.
Holy shit!
You okay, Frank?
I'm high. I wasn't kidding. I tell you, I gotta be high during this shit.
You gotta be high with every movie you watch.
Pretty much.
The look in his face. If you two guys would have seen the look in his face when we left the theater, it was priceless. I should have taken a picture just for hell of it. He was just
Chef Ken says, I'll never forget the demon hand coming out of the NC-17 scene. Well, I would like to see the true scene that they originally shot. And I think we will. I do plan on buying this on 4K, by the way, when it comes out. It was a good movie. I'm complaining, but the truth is I liked it. It had a good feel.
You want to hit it, but you can't. On its own, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
But don't tie it to the first one and show Gregory Peck and call it a prequel. It's not a prequel.
It's not a prequel.
Stop
calling it a prequel.
Well,
exactly.
It's done.
It's done. There's nothing we can do about it. I'll tell you this. I'm going to enjoy watching. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to watch it again when I get it on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever. And, we're going to, and for God's sake, I hate the commercials. The scariest movie of the year. We're only in April.
The darkest chapter in the Conjuring universe.
Yeah. Is there another Conjuring movie coming out this year?
They're going to have a Nun 3 in it.
There's a Nun 3 for real?
No, I'm just kidding.
They are making another Conjuring. It's going to be the last.
I heard that. I heard about the Conjuring 4, but we got Nosferatu coming. There's a movie coming out that has Nicolas Cage in it called Daddy Longlegs. Have you seen the preview to that? No. Oh my God. That looks crazy. That looks creepy as hell. I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch that one. Get ready for that one. It's called Daddy Long. Daddy
You're gonna
Legs
give it
or Daddy
3
Long
coffee cups.
Huh?
You're gonna give it 3 coffee cups.
I gave the first Omen 3 coffee cups.
I'm pretty sure every review I watch, you give it 2 or 3. What? How many coffee cups is the most you can give on your
5?
Scale? 5. Okay.
I gave Godzilla -1 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was worth it.
Yeah,
worth it.
Is there cream and sugar in it?
Always. But so anyway, I'm gonna start wrapping it up here. Let's see, make a couple of more.
Real quick, The Crow thoughts.
The Crow. I don't have many thoughts about
Does
it.
Does he rap in it?
I'm not a big Crow fan.
Yeah.
Please don't stress me out.
I'm not a big Crow fan. I could care less. I understand the whole people are not happy with this guy. They're redoing it because of Brandon Lee, and I understand their frustration. I understand they think it's like, I don't know what you think about
Bill
it.
Skarsgård's getting a lot of work. It seems like, you got him in that. You got him in that. What's that? Boy Kills World or whatever it's called, and then you got him in that Nosferatu.
I can see that, but not The Crow. And if they're gonna do The Crow, not that character, a different one.
You saw the preview to Maxine, the third film of the X series? Yeah. What? It just came out yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago.
Abigail looks interesting.
Has a great cast. I heard Abigail's awesome. The early buzz is like
Abigail.
Really
I'm definitely gonna check
really
that
bloody,
one out. But definitely Maxine looks amazing. I saw the preview and I was like, yo, I gotta watch this. This looks awesome.
Prequel, that Mad Max movie coming out.
Furiosa.
I don't care. I'm not big on Mad Max films. Never were. Never was.
He hates The Crow. Hates Mad Max.
I don't hate. I just I'm not like
what else do you
watch it. I'm just not a big fan of it. I could care less.
What other movie do you hate?
I made a post.
I don't hate. Oh, the only movie I really hate is Omen 4: The Awakening. I'm sorry. And Exorcist Believer is trailing right behind it.
Exorcist Believer.
Aside from that, I'm good.
Your passionate hate kills me. I love it.
Yeah, because when you love something, you love it.
Of course.
Baron Von, when you first saw Exorcist Believer, didn't you want to throw a TV
Leave?
at the screen? Or a piece of furniture or something, rip the chair off the thing and just fling it at the screen?
No, I thought I was watching Are You Afraid of the Dark or something. Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was with David Gordon Green, he let the girls improv. And a lot of stuff just didn't make any sense. I mean, it's like, okay, the biggest thing that broke canon for me was, you're looking back, say, at the Friedkin film. You're in a real place, with a real house. And now, the beginning was fine. I could see where they were trying to keep the whole thing with Haiti, the earthquake in 2010, which really happened, and here we are 13 years later in a place that doesn't exist, Percy, Georgia. Try to find that on the map. It might as well have been Haddonfield.
I didn't try to look.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Oh, guys.
I could keep going on that one. Jeez.
Oh, no. We could do another whole live stream on Exorcist Believer.
Why?
And how it has scarred the horror fan community deeply. I think we should start a support group.
It's like when I was covering
I'll have coffee brewing.
Mike Blatty, and made the comment about, well, for the next one, you could hear him do this.
You interviewed Michael Blatty, I know. I'll have coffee on the side. I'll have donuts, and I'll have calming jazz music on the side so people can breathe it out.
Oh, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have an unboxing video come out for this right here. This is Pazuzu mug.
Pazuzu mug.
Yeah,
talk about horror and coffee.
Yeah.
How do you drink from? How do you drink from that? Yo! You pour the coffee in it.
Cocktail mug with like a straw.
You pour the coffee in it.
I can pour coffee in there. Yeah.
You pour the coffee in it.
This is the first time I've drank out of this. It's awesome.
You pour into it the coffee in it.
When I do the unboxing,
let me say
that stuff. So.
Is it microwave safe?
Yeah,
I don't trust it in the microwave, and I'm going to put that in the video. If anything, pour the coffee directly in and hand wash it.
Well, when you pour the coffee in,
there's nothing in there that says it's microwave safe, so I wouldn't even try it. It's too expensive for one.
Just give it up.
Even do it.
That caffeine's kicking in, Ralph.
The devil's fire, the microwave.
Does the coffee turn green when you pour it into the cup?
No.
Okay.
They sell Exorcist coffee.
I gotta find that. I gotta drink that.
I want to see Omen coffee.
What? Jackal piss?
Jackal grinds.
When you open it up, it even makes that noise like the crow scene.
Everybody has a coffee now.
Dark roast and medium roast, the twins.
The music starts up when it starts to percolate.
I have to give the one more thing before we close.
The score.
The score was pretty good.
Yes.
It was creepy. There was during the movie, I felt like, is somebody whispering behind me or something? Like, the stereo was good, man. I kept on hearing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what's going on? But then when Damien was born, it's a boy. Boom! You heard Jerry Goldsmith's score kick in, and I was like, okay, we're in the element apparently. Because that's a legendary score. That's Jerry Goldsmith stuff right there, man.
That score's fantastic.
That's an incredible.
When he was born, I just went, oh, come here.
You were like, oh, beady doo, Betty boop, whatever. I don't know what the fuck.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Okay, when the birthing happened, what building did they set fire to?
That's a good question. It wasn't the hospital.
The studio.
You think they were in the hospital? No, they couldn't have been in the hospital because they did the exchange of the babies after
in a whole separate area.
Yeah. This happened somewhere else because they transferred. Remember, they were in the car and they were going to the hospital with the baby. Remember when Father Spoleto was in there, and Father Spoleto had no lines in this movie. He just
Is
stood there
anyone
with
else
his,
buying this on
with his
4K?
effing cigarette. Huh?
Is anyone else here buying this on 4K?
I'm buying this on
Not
4K.
you.
I liked it. I don't know if I will buy it on 4K.
You ain't gonna buy it on 4K.
Probably will eventually.
I buy more movies than you.
Look at all those movies he got behind.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe digital. I could see myself watching it again. I could see myself watching it again.
Okay.
I don't think I think it's a good film.
Okay.
But I'm also not so beholden. Like the Omen is not my precious, so it's not. It's fine.
Before I close, I would like you guys to plug in your respective things, starting with you, Nate. Talk about Geeks and Flicks.
Yes. Thank you for having me on, Ralph. Always a pleasure. Always a good time.
It was fun, man. It was good having you talk with
yes.
you.
My name is Nate. You can find me over on Geeks and Flicks. That's our YouTube channel. Me and Alex. We do movie reviews. We do live shows every other Sunday. So this coming Sunday, we'll be doing a live show at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We just mostly talk crap and laugh and tell jokes and have fun with the chats and stuff like that. And then every Friday, I put up a new review for a new movie in the theater. Anything. Could be horror, could be comedy, whatever's the new big release, I review it and put up a review. And Alex is doing a DC retro rewind. So he will be tomorrow posting up Batman 66, the 1966 movie.
Oh, yeah. Alex is all about Batman.
Yeah. He will be reviewing that. He's going in chronological order. So last week he did Superman and the Mole Men, and now he's doing Batman 66. So yeah, we just review movies. And if you like action and you listen to podcasts, we have the Action Movie Guys podcast. The strictly action movies, but like fantasy, sci-fi, all different genres. So that's on everything. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever. Busy man.
Before we move on, wait, look. Jeff Kennedy. Corpus animus. What the hell does that mean? I don't know.
Okay.
Carpool? Who has a carpool right now? Anyway, Baron Vaughn, please plug in your channel. I'd love to hear.
I run Exorcist Reviews. It's actually a spinoff of a previous channel. It all started with my rant on the Exorcist TV series.
Oh, God.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it. Go ahead, Baron
Well,
Vaughn.
mainly because I was expecting the Blatty miniseries, and that never happened.
Oh, okay.
So, obviously, my focus is on the Exorcist, eventually Exorcist 2 and all the other films. I want to, branch off into like collectibles. Again, like I was saying, I'm going to be doing unboxings. Probably by the time I'm done with the Exorcist, covering the Exorcist mini series, finally, I'll probably branch off to like Exorcist 2 and then Exorcist 3 and then work my way through the other
two Exorcist Believer.
Dominion and the beginning and puke up what I have to say about Believer.
Puke up.
I hope you have strong alcohol.
That's all I gotta say. Go away now.
Thank you, sir. Marty, you do some stuff on social media too. Please plug it in.
Oh yeah, my skincare, hair care, wellness. Yeah, I the _Rican vegan. Yeah, I have online beauty and wellness, but to take away from the stigma of it being only for females, it's also male as well. I have skincare for scalp care, hair care for men, facial hair for men as well. So if you guys are interested, anyone are watching, hit me with a DM and I'll help you guys out. And wellness as well.
Drinking the blood. Is that what that was about? That's part of the routine?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my
Straight out the
God.
stones.
I want to thank all of you, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for being on the show. I'm so glad I had a chance to talk and really air out what I was thinking about this movie, all the particulars that was just driving me up the damn wall. But nonetheless, it's still, in summary, a movie I liked, regardless of the discrepancies, regardless of the little jabs here and there. It's still the movie that I hate to like. I liked it. 4 coffee cups That is my final verdict.
Ooh.
So please, if you enjoyed this show and you want to see future Horror and Coffee content, consider subscribing. Tap on that bell for future notifications. And we will have more stuff, more reviews, more other things happening. The year has just begun. There's so many more horror movies that are coming out in the next few months. I think we just did a big hit a big speed bump over, with this one. This one was a biggie, the first Omen. So let's see what happens next time. Okay. I appreciate you guys. Hold on. This Sith Lord is a metalhead. Hey guys, I had to switch channels from that Goat Metal show. Okay, same guy. Okay. Well, please, by all means, check out. Thank you, Sith Lord Metalhead. Thank you, Kev Chen. Thank you, Jamel, my buddy. He experienced the movie with me. L.I. Thank you, L.I. L.I. Don't know who that is. Oh, her picture's... Okay. Hi. She says, this was exciting. I appreciate you. Chev, Ken, thank you so much. He said, great stream. Thank you. Justin Sanchez, thank you. God, John Brown, Tombstone, Ralph Love. This is the most I've had in a chat.
It's all for you, Ralph.
It's all for you.
Now let's jump.
No, now you're all gonna hang yourselves. God forbid. You don't you dare do that. I'm nobody, okay, to do that for. I'm nobody. My scalp is clear. Anyway, until next time, I appreciate you guys' time. This is Ralph Perez, Horror and Coffee. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye-bye. Say bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me on.
You got it. I appreciate